everyone, it is Mrs. P. I am here to do my check-in. This is the check-in for the first week of July, the budget that we have for the first week of July. It went from June 27th to July 3rd. If I yawn through this video, it is because I have gotten myself off of a normal sleep routine. I got to staying up really late, working on projects, watching TV, reading. Oh, guys, and now I can't, I'm like sleeping in, and I've never done that. I've always been like wake up around 6 o'clock every morning, regardless whether I have school or not. I woke up this morning early to make my husband lunch. He always says that his peanut butter and jelly sandwiches taste better when I make them, which I always say, you know, it's because I make them with love. But, so I got up early this morning, so I'm trying to get back on a regular schedule, so I'm trying not like to take a nap today. I've got my my sweet tea over here that's helping. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this budget. The week went okay. I did have some spending that I was not planning to do, but I'll explain that. And I messed up with this budget. When I did it last week, I completely forgot, and it's on my calendar, so I have no idea how I overlooked it, and it's not something that I don't always pay, but my car insurance, it comes out on the first day of the month, and I completely forgot to budget that in. And it wasn't a little mess up because our car insurance is like almost $300. So I had to make some adjustments and pivot midweek because I would have had to go into my buffer of my account, and I don't want to do that. The buffer I know is there for an emergency, but that's not an emergency. That was a mistake. So with that said, let me go ahead and get started with the numbers. All right, so Mr. P's check came in at $1,113.65. I had planned to pull in $2,600 from my summer savings, but once I realized that I had forgot to budget in the car insurance, I knew that I needed more. So I went ahead and made another transfer to total $2,780. So that's how much I pulled in from the summer savings. Other came in as normal, $305. That's from my boys making their payments toward the things that we pay for of theirs. And then I did get an Etsy, little bit of money from Etsy. I had not planned on it, and it came in at $55.39. So that's our income, and so that totaled $4,254.04. All right, so then with our bills and expenses, YouTube Premium, this was June's portion, came in at $24.60. Mr. P Hobby, $48.51. That came out as normal. This was also June's. $11.40 is our new mortgage payment. Microsoft, $18.18. Assurant, $14.92. That is the renter's insurance that we have for my middle son, and he pays that when he pays us. And then my boo-boo was Progressive. I got one of those email notifications that, you know, told me that we're going to debit your account for your insurance. And for whatever reason, I had my budget just sitting close to me when that came in. And I glanced over and I didn't see it. And I like flipped through. I was like, oh no, I left it off. Don't know how. And then it's in my calendar overview, so I don't know how I did that. All right, so that was $296.15. All right, so the bills and expenses comes to $1,542.36. All right, so that leaves us with $27,1168. All right, so I'll move that down here to this section, $27,1168. Sinking funds, I did take out the $588. but because I did have that Etsy money come in, I did send $15 to our taxes. This is a bucket that I have in my Ally account. So I sent $15 over there to cover taxes for the Etsy. And so this section is $603, leaving us with $2,108.68. All right, so I'm going to move that total over here, $2,108.68. All right, so groceries, we did take out $150. We did not overspend, but you will see I spent it all. All right, pets, $20, household, $20, Mr. P, $30, Miss P, $60, Miss P, $20. We did not eat out, any unbudgeted eating out, which is, you know, that's usually where we have money come in here. Gas, we did overspend on gas. I had dropped this down to $40, knowing that I wasn't going to be driving as much, but I didn't take into consideration that my husband is driving more. Since I'm home and we're working on like little projects around the house, he's going back and forth to like Lowe's and Home Depot. And so he filled the truck up. Anyway, so we did go over on gas. All right, miscellaneous, $10 I did take out, and unbudgeted, $54.56. And it would have actually been more, but I did have some money. I pulled everything out of my home maintenance and household category. We had to get filters for the house, and because it's summer and dusty, pollen, all the things, and the dogs are staying out a little bit more, we wanted to get, you know, the really good filters for the house. So I spent extra on that, but I also picked up a gallon of cabinet paint from Sherwin-Williams. They gave me a discount. They're really good about giving teacher discounts, even though it wasn't for my classroom, but I you know, shop in there, and so they gave me a discount there. And so I pulled all the money from everything we had for house related, and it was still $54.56 what I had to pay. That cabinet paint is expensive. It was like $100 for the gallon of paint, but I need it. We had, when we redid our house years ago, we put in all new cabinets, and we put unfinished cabinets in there, and I painted them. And so they just, after, you know, wear and tear, they needed to be touched up. And that was one of the projects I wanted to do over the summer. So there it is, $54.56. But, you know, I'm okay with it because I figure, you know, the Etsy payment kind of covered that. So, all right, anyway, so $451.56. So in the next upcoming videos, you will probably notice I will have paint hands, because I've got to get busy on that project. All right, so this leaves us with $1657.12. All right, so then I'm going to move down here to our debt section. And we had, so let me move this, 7, 12. We had $403.15 come out for John Deere. Now this was June's payment to John Deere. I paid $500 to my car, $470 to the truck, $20 to Citibank, $75 to Wells Fargo, $88 to Ortho. I did not put anything toward the snowball, so this section added up to be $1,556.15, and that left us with $197. And I've added this twice and came up with two different numbers, but they were so close that I was like, I'm just gonna leave it. Once I got 101, and second time I got 197, so it should be right around there. I'll check it, do the math later. So I wasn't expecting to roll anything over for, well, I was, but when I did my budget with me, I said no rollover, but we'll actually have $100 to go toward rollover. So that's good, because summer is going to be tight with our budget. Oops, I didn't mean about that. Just because budgeted like $3,000 per month for my income, and that's about what I'm bring home, but that's also counting that I've already paid my car payment. So I probably need to save more next summer for my income, but we will have less debt next summer. So I don't know. I just know that it's tight. It's going to be a tight summer. Okay, so let me go ahead and do the check-in with you on the groceries and gas and all of that stuff. All right, so for groceries, the first time I went to the grocery store, I was fine. I spent at Walmart, I spent $108, which I was happy with. But the very next day, we had the retirement party to go to, and they had asked, you know how when you're coming to, and it was like a cookout, it was by the pool, and it was like, you know, it was at somebody's house, but they asked, you know, just to BYOB, but I didn't want to just bring a little bit of drinks, so I went ahead and brought a cooler full of different kinds of beverages, beer and just sodas and juice boxes and whatever. And so that ended up costing me the rest of my grocery money, literally all of it. So it was, let's see here, it was $42. And so I'm okay with that. We still have a lot of the stuff left in the cooler, so we'll just use it for the 4th of July. All right, so that was groceries. Pet supplies, $6.28. We got at Walmart. I spent $35. We are officially out of venison that we used to make the dog food. And so we are having to purchase meat now for making the homemade dog food. So that is just gonna, we may have to raise the amount for pets because of that. Household, $6.28 at Walmart. I spent $13. And eating out, nothing. Gas, there was $2. I filled my car up. It was completely empty. $44. And then my husband filled the truck up, and it was $67. And it must have been completely empty because the last time I filled it up, it wasn't that much. So that was that. And then the unbudgeted is the paint, and that was on, oops, that wasn't even on 6. That was in July. 7 to Sherwin Williams. And that was 50. I'm just gonna, no, I'll put the whole thing. 54.56. Usually I round up, but I don't always. I'm not consistent with that. So, all right, there we go. That is that. Now we will be eating out in the next week because we have 2 birthdays coming up. So, all right. So there is my check-in. Not too bad. You know, it's amazing how my brain, let me move you out, how my brain works with having this YouTube channel. When I go to buy something, the paint, I would have never in a million years prior to this, having this channel, would have thought twice about running in and buying the paint. But because I have to come on here and lay it all out for everybody to see, I think before I buy. I'm thinking, like, I really want a new quilt for my bed because, like, in the summer I take my comforter off and put on a quilt because it's lighter and it's, you know, not as hot. And I've been, like, eyeing them. And I was in Walmart when I was getting my tires changed and was having to kill time, and I was looking at the bedding and I was like, oh, look at those quilts, and they were so pretty, and I found one and it was $70. I was like, how am I going to justify spending $70 on a quilt when I'm in debt? Because I don't need to buy that. I've got a quilt. It's beautiful. It's there's nothing wrong with it. But I was just like, you know how if you've had the same one for a while, you want, you know, something different, but I'm going to live with the quilt that I have. And so anyway, thank you guys for helping me stay accountable, because you guys are helping me to get out of debt just because you're there supporting me, and I don't want to disappoint you. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends.